Juwan, Eli was in here talking a couple minutes ago. Say he thinks more guys need to bring the fire. Said a night like tonight kind of exemplifies that. How would you assess the energy tonight?
Well, and I thought we came out with a lot of good energy. Guys played, with a sense of urgency in the beginning of the ball game. But then once they made a run and went up 9-2, and I called timeout, and I kind of seen, some guys that had a little doubt in their eyes. That's not how we have to approach, games that we play, especially when we're playing at home. This is a place that we've had a lot of success. This is our home court. Very familiar with the rims, very familiar with the lighting, and as well as the atmosphere.
Steve?
Juwan, that kind of ties into what I was going to ask you about, the three-pointers. You're getting great looks, and guys who are very capable of knocking down open three-pointers aren't knocking them down. How do you approach that with them after the game? How do you approach that with them in practice? What's a possible remedy?
Well, after the game, there's no need to keep rubbing it in. They understand exactly how we shot the ball, being 5 for 28 from 3, and being open looks. So you can't point the finger and blame the offense or blame the coach or anything like that. Not saying that has happened, but I would say this: come tomorrow, yes, we will watch film. We will see some of the actions where we either made the right read or we didn't shoot the ball with confidence, or maybe just the ball just didn't go in. But it's important that our group have to watch the film tomorrow and see how we can grow and get better.
Juwan, on the other end, what did you think of the looks that Penn State got?
Oh, they got too many open looks. And it was because of lack of communication on the defensive end. And it's January 22nd. We talk about that we have to communicate on defense, be physical, don't be surprised. We have a great scouting report. We watch film on every opponent. We see guys' tendencies as well as their strengths and who can shoot the ball and where they shoot the ball from. So there's no surprises. So I don't understand why guys get open looks. So it tells me because of lack of communication on switching. And at times I thought we were lazy on our switches. When we switch up on shooters, not back, or assuming that a guy has the man, and unfortunately that particular player is not guarding it. Or if your hand's down versus a shooter, for example, Curtis Jones, who just lined us up and shot it right in our face, that's unacceptable. So you have to own it. You got to be able to do your job.
Andrew?
Juwan, you mentioned the timeouts.
But they're going to see it tomorrow, for sure.
You mentioned at least one of the timeouts, early, you took one, a couple minutes into the game, a couple minutes into the second half, I guess. What are you even saying to them, given that you had just met with them?
Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly what I said, but I would say this: it was about just we have to make an adjustment on how we want to play this game. It was good that I took the time out because we responded. Unfortunately, we just wasn't consistent with our level of play. There was too much lack of focus throughout the game, and that's where some of the mistakes were made on the defensive end.
Juwan, so you guys got to the line a lot more this game as the past couple games. I'm wondering what kind of was the difference there?
It wasn't a point of emphasis. We always attacked the basket. If you look at it tonight, we scored 34 points in the paint. Last game, we scored over 20 plus points in the paint. Yes, you can look at the threes and say 5 for 28, 17%. So we got paint attacks, paint finishes, but we didn't do a good job of shooting the ball from the outside.
So why
Those were open looks, by the way. Very wide open looks.
So still a lot of points in the paint, then why more trips to the line this time around, do you think?
Oh, well, we got fouled. Referee called it.
In the back TV with Justin.
Well, I'm not suggesting this, but how do you make sure this doesn't, spiral downhill from here further? How do you make sure that
man, I got that under control. You can trust me on that one. There's not going to be any doubt in that locker room. We would not lose trust in one another. There's a lot of seasons to be played. You learn from games like this. No one said we were going to win every game this season. Yes, our goal was to win every game this season. Our goal was to protect home court and have an undefeated record at home, but that has not happened. We will keep and continue to keep grinding throughout the process and growing and staying together and playing hard.
Ashley?
Juwan, going back to what you were saying a few questions ago, how much of a concern or frustration is it for you that there are things like lack of communication and lack of focus at this point in the season when that's pretty, early stuff that
Great
is
question.
reaching?
It's very challenging to come up here and have to talk about that we're having a lack of communication and we're not communicating enough. I don't understand why. At times I see our guys, not see, but hear our guys in the locker room with a lot of energy. They get along very well with one another. They talk to each other. I don't see them always picking up the phone and, like sometimes you'll see guys texting each other, they standing right next to one another. But this group, they look like they enjoy playing with one another. So it's too late in the season for, I have to beg our guys to communicate on defense. And not just on the defensive end, on the offensive end too. It just so happened that it's a lost art in the game, and we got to bring it back. Yes, I'm old school, but in order for us to forge ahead and move forward and improve, communication has to be a part of the process. That it surprised me that some of our guys don't like talking on defense, or assume that a player knows exactly what the other opponent's going to do, and assume that your teammate knows that he's got to pick him up on the defensive end. There's a lot of guessing going on, and I just don't understand it.
We got time for a couple more. Ethan?
Juwan, Brandon mentioned confidence as an issue tonight, just team-wide. Is that something you noticed as well, and just how do you deal with something like that?
And I think it's the problem of when you see that you're down, you got hit in the mouth, and the score is not in your favor, and you don't see that you can't break through an opponent, and they're just pretty much being able to score at times when you're trying to go back and score, and they come back and score again. And then you look up and like, wow, we're still down 8 or 9. And, your huddle becomes quiet, and guys start to overthink, overanalyze, and so that's why I think what Brandon is speaking of, that is there some doubt within? I don't know. I'm assuming that it's not, but I will make sure it's my job to make sure that there's no doubt within this group. I'm gonna continue to keep forging ahead, keep teaching them, and keep coaching them. And also leading them, because that's what they need. They need a guy who they can trust as being the head coach to lead this group, and I will do that job for sure.
We'll go to Abigail and then Brendan.
Coach, coming up against Illinois, who often selects similar shots, their shot chart looks similar to Penn State's tonight. What do you need to do differently on defense to be more effective against that?
Well, I haven't started thinking about Illinois yet. But to answer your question, I know that we can't have the same performance tonight. And it's, on defensive end, expect that come Saturday, that Illinois gonna feel sorry for us. They're gonna try to run it down our throats. They're playing good basketball. They want to come in here and get a win. And we got to protect our home, and we got to redeem ourselves in this game like this, because each and every guy, including myself, I look themselves in the mirror and see how can I get better coming Thursday when I walk in this door tomorrow.
Really tightened up the rotation tonight. I don't know if that was a matter of no one got in foul trouble and you maybe weren't forced to make substitutions, or did you want to kind of keep it at that, kind of go down to a 7-man rotation?
It was just challenging to put Adrian Nunez as well as Colin in the game. They were playing a lot of small ball, and Colin would have had to, if he was playing the 4, would have had to guard one of their small perimeters who also are shooters. So I had to make an adjustment from there. As far as when it came to Adrian Nunez. They had some guys that were playing very well in their end. Also was driving us down our throat. I trusted, Xavier. Unfortunately, at times I kind of thought that maybe I'd give him a breather, but we needed him in there. He had 40 minutes tonight. I was trying my best to try to settle him out, but it was challenging. So I was mixing and matching.
And on Xavier, it's playing 40 minutes. It seems like the team really feeds off his energy, and he takes a lot of shots and is relied on for assists. Do you ever kind of worry about the load that is kind of on his shoulders?
I always do. Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay, Coach, thank you.